Welcome to the Fantasy Football Garage. I'm Chris. My friends call me the Candyman, and you already know what time it is. Tonight, we're drafting best ball teams. There's new tournaments every day this week. It's peak hot best ball summer. I just got back from the beach. I was touching some sand, some water, having a little fun at the pool, and I'm back from vacation. I had a really fun long stream Tuesday night. Wednesday night, we were over there on the Fanspeak Network for Best Ball Jeopardy. I won my semifinal matchup against Cody. So I'm moving on to the finals this coming Monday on the Fanspeak Network. Be on the lookout for that and come watch. And now I'm back. We're drafting teams tonight. We're kicking it off with some best ball manias, and then maybe we'll get into some Rottweilers. Without further ado, we're going to kick it over to the drafts. I'm making my first pick here at the 102 in a best ball mania. Let's see. I'm almost on the clock, but let's see what the guy at the 101 does. If you're new to the channel, if you're watching this in the future, make sure you're subscribed. He goes Chase. I'm going to go Bijan. It's only fitting for the thumbnail. Take a Bijan Robinson team. But if you're new, if you're watching this in the future, make sure you're subscribed. I've got a goal to hit 500 subs by the start of the NFL season. And hey, we're getting real close. There's like less than 2 weeks left, and I'm getting pretty close there too. So I'd appreciate your sub. Make sure you hit the like on the way in. And if you're watching this in the future too, leave a comment. Let me know, Bijan Robinson or Saquon Barkley, who is the running back you need first overall, or is it Gibbs? Let me know in the comments. Appreciate y'all. Say what up to the chat in a second. Let's kick it to the intro and then bring this draft board on. Let's get it. But overall, it's like the guy can ball. Like, actions speak louder than words. You know what I've noticed is that Nico Collins rising up the board. I'm seeing Nico go a lot closer to pick 7 than I am seeing him go around pick 11 or 12 these days. It's Best Ball Mania 6, 80% filled, and I have 29 drafts left to do, so I'm perfectly on pace. I've been drafting all summer since the day it opened, which was that. It was like April, whatever it was. And we've been drafting all summer long, all these tournaments. But Best Ball Mania, the goal is to draft teams right now that you could not have drafted last month or the month before. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to continue to build out teams, round out the exposures. I'm pretty underexposed to Bijan Robinson, only 6% in Best Ball Mania. I've never taken him with, of course, Puka or London. I doubt those guys come back around. Maybe I can get a Brock Bowers or Chase Brown to get unique on my Best Ball Mania combinations. So that's what we're doing here tonight. We're going to draft some Best Ball Manias, maybe draft some Rottweilers as well. But it's drafting season. It's drafting time. It's Friday night. Hope you're doing great out there. I just got back from the beach. Took the last 2 days off to go and have a beach vacation with the fam. So I'm feeling, I've been out in the sun, been soaking it up. I'm feeling revitalized. I'm feeling good. I've been checking in on the NFL news here and there. Of course, the big trade was Brian Robinson Jr. off to the 49ers. So other than that, not too much going on. Injuries here and there, players coming back from injuries. One thing I'm kind of keeping an eye on is Devonta Smith, how bad his groin injury is, if that's really going to hold him up to start the season or at all. So I'm a little bit cautious with that pick. In a Rottweiler earlier today, I took Calvin Ridley ahead of Devonta Smith on a certain team. But let's see what we can get into from the 2 spot. We have pick 23 and 26 coming up. Like I said, with my Bijan teams, I don't have any Chase Brown. I didn't have any Brock Bowers. I don't think it's looking good. The odds that Chase Brown's still going to be there. Brock Bowers was gone. I don't have him with McBride, which seems fine. Marv, Omarion Hampton, Kyron. Maybe getting with Kyron would be pretty cool. Wow. And I get lucky. So I am going to get Chase Brown, who's been rising up a ton lately. You know, in the beginning of Best Ball Mania, sure, you could get him in the third round. I never took him on a Bijan team back then, you know, and matched it up. So I get him here at the back end of the second round, which is pretty nice ADP value these days. So Robinson, Chase Brown, I go Marv Harrison here. Seems like it would make a lot of sense. Let's do that. That one feels good. I get a natural week 17 against Cincinnati and a week 16 against Atlanta. So in a large field tournament with 500 plus people in the final week, you're going to want to correlate, and it doesn't hurt. I was going to take him anyways there based on the best available player at ADP and kind of how I was feeling about this team. But the fact that I get that week 16 and week 17 correlation, icing on top, the cherry on top. Catch up with y'all. Yo, what up, Chris? How we doing, brother? Looks like you're at the beach too right now. When's the drop? Yeah, we're dropping into some best ball manias. I jumped into this one right before the stream started, but I'll definitely be ripping some Rottweilers later with the stream. So if you got any of those left, if you want to hop into those, totally down. Yeah, high vitamin D drafting. That's how I'm feeling today. I'm feeling real good. Yo, Tyler, what's up, brother? What's up? What's up? How are you doing? How's your Friday night going, man? Yeah, that doesn't sound great, right? The recent changes with the injuries to the O line for Atlanta, that's not sounding too great. But we'll have to see. What are you gonna do? Anybody but McBride. I like McBride at the 2-3 turn just fine. I think I'm about 8% or just under in Best Ball Mania. Yeah. So what's cool about the Rottweiler is you just take whoever you want, wherever you want. It's completely time boxed. You put a lot of emphasis on advancing out of your pod because it's 2 out of 12, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 5, and then a 30 team final. So I actually really like that structure. And it's totally time boxed. So hey, draft J.K. Dobbins at pick 100, take Keenan Allen at pick 100, anywhere you want, get these guys, and you can fade players that you think you're going to miss some time. I say that I did take Jordan Addison, even though he's going to miss 4 out of the first 6 weeks of the season. So probably not my best pick on that team, but and I took him like right at ADP. It's whatever. And the ADPs for the Rottweiler are just like they don't even matter really. It's just get whoever you think you need and the best players available. Try to advance out of the pod. Get lucky for 2 weeks and then a 30 team final. Anything can happen. Yeah, I think so too. You know what's crazy is like if you ask me who's more talented, Chase Brown or a player who hasn't been drafted yet that I won't name, I would say the player who has not been drafted yet that I won't name is definitely more talented than Chase Brown. It's such an offensive situation kind of thing where it's like Chase Brown is the running back one for the Bengals, print money. And he's good enough, right? He's good enough. He can handle the ball on the passing downs as well. So this is a best ball mania. Let me double check my combinations here. Yeah, I've done some Hurts, Bijan. I've got some Hendo. I have to go Hurts here, I think. I only have 7% Hurts, and so it's not going to be really stacked Hurts team with AJ Brown or Devonta Smith, who's already gone, but hard to pass up. Tempted to go Hendo here. I could bring Devo up. He used to be going later, though. Same thing with Hendo. Could do it on Ridley. I'm gonna hit Henderson. I'm just gonna keep it rolling. Very robust start. This could be a hyper fragile build for sure. It's tough because in Best Ball Mania, I've gotten Henderson all the way around pick, 60 plus, but this is the other side of the board, so I feel like it's fine just to take him there and get combinations with these guys. I don't even have that many Bijan teams. So then to get him with Henderson, I've done it before, so I've definitely done it. Let me get another one. Like if you ask me who's more talented, Chase Brown or Travion Henderson, there's a very obvious answer. Who's in the better situation? There's an obvious answer there too. But let me stock up on these talented running backs early, and I'll have to dig myself out of a wide receiver hole. I think I can do it though. I got the elite QB, so I've at least got something going for me just outside of the running back position alone. And this could be a hyper fragile. I was looking at the bye week. So bye week 5, bye week 10, bye week 14. I think now is an interesting time to build hyper fragile builds. It's also an interesting time to build zero running back builds. So might be leaning in those directions with my last, uh, 30 drafts to go before I max. Yeah, Tyler. I just got back from vacation. I was in Galveston the last 2 days for my wifey's birthday, and we were out there with the kiddos, hitting up the beach, the pool, Rainforest Cafe. Super fun with a 3-year-old. And for me, it's incredible. Love it. All top 3 picks. Yeah. Yeah, that's how I feel about Chase Brown. That's how I mean, I would agree. Yeah. And then also, you get the late options. You could always Goddard, you can pull him up a little bit, and then Will Shipley, like you said, ship play. Yeah, Hendo's still just a fun click. What's my Henderson exposure at? I'm keeping it high. 12% Henderson, and I'm keeping it up. See who can come back around to us here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Debo used to go so much later. It's kind of crazy. I think Debo's been underpriced for a while. We see how they're going to utilize him in that offense and just the ability to score points in that offense. So Debo's been getting pulled up a bunch, which I think makes a lot of sense. Make this pick. I'll catch up with Jaw. What are the odds? There's no way this happens, right? There's no way. I don't want to jinx it. There's 2 picks I really like here. I'm good with either one of them, but this guy, yeah, he has to take Ibuka at 70. I thought Ibuka might come back around. Would have been really fun. I am gonna go ahead and take Diggs as my wide receiver 2, and then whatever Rule 870 does, he's got the double stack with Burrow. He gets Jennings. I'm cool with either one of Pacheco or David Montgomery, but I also wouldn't mind getting a receiver here. I'd be like, I could bring up Jaden Reed, but I'm gonna go ahead and take Pacheco, and then I'm probably done drafting running backs. So it's looking like a hyper fragile build with Bijan, Chase Brown, Travion Henderson, and Isaiah Pacheco. Could just be 4 of the best, highest scoring running backs in fantasy in 2025. I've come around on Pacheco a lot lately too. I'm cool with pulling Pacheco all the way up to around to pick 65, like right after Connor, where Pollard's going here. I think with the way we've seen Pacheco potentially getting utilized in their passing game, and he's looking fully healed, recovered, and then of course the Chiefs like to run the ball, and they should be a good rushing offense, like a strong team, high scoring potential. I'm cool with bringing Pacheco up there. So I'll sacrifice more wide receiver in this spot and get these running backs that I feel really confident in. Yeah, so true. What up, Harmon? aka Sharpman, aka my dog. How we doing? Hartman, have you already maxed the Rottweiler? How's your Friday going, brother? Yeah, it was a fun little time in Galvey, fun little time. Pool yesterday, beach today. So I was on the beach earlier today, and we just drove back. You know how close it is. You can literally get door to door in about an hour or less. And then we have some friends who live in Galveston now, and we got to see them last night. So hanging out at the hotel bar, and then just chilling the last 2 days in the sun. Yo, what up, Dark Side? Give me more details. Did two so far, probably trying to max. That's what I thought too. I've done one. Um, I've done one so far. I think I'll max it though, because I like the time box aspect of it, where it's just like nothing up until this point matters. Draft 4 teams, try to win. So you don't have to worry about April, May, June, July ADPs. We have so much more information now. Just draft the best team. I like that aspect of it. And so I'm like in the Rottweiler, I guess I'm going to be trying to avoid injured players and then just drafting guys who are on the rise, and then just kind of reaching for players that I think are undervalued and just not caring about ADP as much. Okay. We'll have to check back in on that. There's 4 games still going on at various levels of starters playing, not playing, backups playing. Can't do anything with Mahomes here, even though he's falling 12 picks. I hope someone grabs him. Kelsey's still there. Oh, nope. Jaden Higgins is wide receiver 3. Feels pretty terrible, but it might have to do it. Prescott goes. Incredible. So Mahomes is there. This is going to get interesting. I'm going to pull up Kelsey there, and then I'm going to backstack with Mahomes. I've already got Pacheco. There's no way this guy takes Mahomes. He just can't get there with any stacks or anything. He already had Joe Burrow, so he's committed. Me, on the other hand, I have Jalen Hurts, but I can just end it here with Mahomes. And I got Kelsey and Pacheco. So I've got a big Chiefs bet. I've got the elite QB and Hurts. I'm going to do hyper fragile build on running back. Most likely from here on out, just volume at wide receiver. We need Marvin Harrison to be who we thought he was last year going into the season. We need Diggs to stay healthy and be the Diggs of old. Speaking of the Diggs of old,
Diggs.
Stephon Diggs.
Diggs is the guy.
Diggs. 100%.
I'm a great guy. I'm actually a great guy. There's actually seems to be a few guys that don't think that.
Stephon Diggs holding it down on this one. This is different. This is a different team. Let's get unique. Let's take advantage of falling ADP. Mahomes 15 picks, taking him with Hurts, unheard of, but we're doing it here. Overspending at the QB position, notoriously a bad move in this kind of large field tournament. But if Hurts is the guy you need, maybe Mahomes gets this there, carries a little bit. It could be interesting. It could be helpful for increasing my floor just to get out of this pod. And then the variance week over week to get the pod luck you need in weeks 15 and 16. Who knows? We're going to have to hammer some upside wide receivers, though. the rest of this draft and get lucky. Not how I saw this one going, but I'm kind of just playing it as it comes to me. Playing it loose. His right ankle. Okay, damn. Well, that's not fun. Yeah, I don't know about Brashard. So I've got Pacheco on this team. I haven't been drafting a whole lot of Brashard Smith in a while now. I actually have. I feel like Hunt gets more work, which is kind of lame, but Hunt is like the pure handcuff. And then what was it with wasn't Royals like I think he was injured, right? Jalen Royals had some kind of injury. Yeah, tendonitis. I read that right after I had drafted him in a pug the other day, which that thing filled super fast too. I did 3 pugs. I drafted one and then I multi-tabled the other 2 at the same time, and the teams kind of came out fine. I guess that would have been Friday. That was Thursday. That was yesterday. I've done a little bit of drafting in the last 2 days. Not a ton, though. Squeezing some things in. I thought I'd be drafting poolside. Never happened. Way too busy chasing a 3-year-old at the pool. And then the beach, forget about it. We were in the waves chasing fish the whole time. Okay, Kyler's here. What the hell do I do now? Because I've got Harrison, and Kyler just fell 20 picks. What do I do here with Kyler Murray? There's no way I can draft Kyler Murray. I've already got Hurts and Mahomes. Burden goes, the only player I wanted. This is terrible. I can't take Kyler there. Got to go Marvin Mims. He's been around this ADP. Obviously, he used to go closer to pick 140, but I don't know. Maybe he starts to play a full complement of snaps now. At least gets the week 17 correlation I need. Insane. Burden would have been nice on this team. I also would have liked Ayuk to come back around. Kirk. Dude, what do I do here? Do I not take Kyler Murray? Because Keenan Allen's been available at pick 180 the entire Best Ball Mania. But how many times can you get Kyler Murray this late? It's going to be very unique. Hurts, Mahomes, Murray. Yeah, I just got the update on my phone. Jaden Blue injury. Fun. So this is a punt wide receiver build. I've got 3 receivers through 11 rounds. Typically not what you would think would be good for Best Ball Mania. We'll find out. But I'm not going to let Kyler Murray go past pick 122. I just kind of regret taking Hurts there now at 47, even though Hurts at 47 is a great pick. But if I would have just taken any receiver, Waddle, Ridley, Flowers, I'd be in a much better spot. So this is a very interesting build. Can't draft Bill in the 80s. Yeah, so in this one, right? Bill goes pick 111, which is about right. That's where I've been seeing him go lately for one Bill Krosky Merritt. Science rules. The 3 QB build with 3 QBs in the first 11 rounds. I don't know what's going on, man. You never know what's going to happen. I just wish I didn't take Hurts there, and this team would be looking so much better. But it's definitely hyper fragile. It's now a 3 QB build, and I'm going to be taking wide receivers with pretty much every single pick from here on out. So I hope I know which guys are good. Oh, yeah, can't draft Bill in the 80s with the time box. Yeah. Yeah, I like that little clip. I forget why we put that together. Bindles and I were talking about a Diggs clip like a couple weeks ago, and I threw that together. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, Mixon Thornton. That's kind of a fun shout. That's a really fun shout. Mixon Thornton. He's looking pretty good, right? Like, surprisingly. Yo, what up, Paulina? How we doing, brother? Happy Friday, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Make sure you smash that like as you get in here. We're going to be ripping drafts all night, but the likes help. And make sure you're subscribed as well. But I know you guys are. I know. I couldn't believe it, Tyler. There was just like, look how many receivers went between my last pick and me taking Kyler Murray. Lockett, what the hell? Palmer and Keenan Allen. So it's like I'm not even missing out on any value at all. I wasn't going to draft a running back. I wasn't going to take a tight end, really. So at the end of the day, I grabbed the Kyler on a team that definitely does not need him at all. I have to figure out how to make it work. Goddard's there. I could do that and be done. Otherwise, I need Hollywood Brown first and pull him up. And I need him to be healthy and not suck like he always does. Demario Douglas, Kyle Williams, both pretty fun. I think Demario Douglas, 30-year breakout incoming. Let's hope for that. Otherwise here, I can't even take Goddard on this team. I'm glad he goes. I didn't have room to take Goddard. It's a naked Hurts team, which is totally fine. We need wide receivers so much more right now. And then Kyle Williams, Douglas goes. At the same time, Kyle Williams is pretty interesting. Late season upside. Just going to have to cover for him. Probably early season. It seems like he's the fourth man in the pecking order, at least. So it looks like they're going to be starting 3 wide sets with Diggs, Douglas, and Boutte, and then Williams mixing in. But I think the big playability of Williams could have some flex appeal pretty quickly. Let me review this team for the first 13 rounds. This is probably the craziest Best Ball Mania draft I've done to date. Yeah, I guess so, right? I mean, it's like if I'm looking for that top scoring quarterback week, I've got 3 pretty decent shots at it, which is at some point you're just I'm overpaying draft capital into QB, but it also is kind of interesting. Yeah, I'm going for max volatility. This could be a, what would that be? 3-4-9-2 build, something like that. And I never really draft 9 receivers, but this could be the team. Yeah. So now I have to stack up these QBs in an interesting way. Yeah, what's up, Kramer? How we doing? GM. Happy Friday, everyone. What's up, Sean? Yeah, Mahomes 98, Kyler 22, and I already had Hurts at 47. So fuck me, right? But I had to draft him. And we're playing catch up. Let me review this team. Playing catch up at wide receiver now. It's a 3-4-5-1 build. What? With Hurts, Mahomes, Murray? Get out of here. Probably this is one of 2 teams in Best Ball Mania to have this combination, and Gritty has the other one. I'm just guessing. Bijan Robinson, Chase Brown, Henderson, Pacheco. Almost certainly a hyper fragile. We'll see if I actually need that 9th receiver. Could tack on a 5th running back just for some coverage, but we'll see. Marv stacked up, Diggs, Mims Jr. to bring back, Hollywood stacked, Kyle Williams, rookie upside. And I've got a big bet on the Patriots there with Diggs and Kyle Williams. So that's kind of fun too for the team stack. Let's just say the Patriots are good. The offensive line is good. They're rocking and rolling. Drake May takes a step forward, all of the above. Travis Kelce. Because if you don't have Mahomes and Kelce, are you really a Chiefs fanboy? Are you really a Swiftie? Do you even Swift, bro? If you can't draft Travis Kelce and Patty Mahomes on the same team. Wow, Geno Smith and Darnold getting pulled up here. So for me getting super deep value at QB makes other teams pull up the QB just a little bit. We see Penix go earlier, Tua go earlier, Darnold and Geno Smith go earlier. Wandale would be nice for this team. Blue's going to fall now because people are worried about the injury. So there's a time when I can scoop him up. If Blue is there really late, I'll scoop him up. but I definitely need to grab these receivers. 67 and 70 coming up. This could be a nice spot to get my second tight end, though, with Ertz and Okonkwo there. Both pretty steady options. Ertz is nice. Okonkwo is nice. I don't have a lot of him. Let me do Wandale first. This is a Wandale team for sure. I need some targets. I need a guy who's going to play snaps. Wandale fits that bill. I need to stop taking week 14 players to some extent. I'm going to push Thielen. Horton would be nice here. I don't know if I can afford it, but he definitely gives me the upside I need. So I'm going to have to take Horton. If he's gone, I'll probably go Okonkwo. And then Pat Bryant also gives me something I need. I'm going to go Horton here. He's not been drafted all best ball mania long. So he's a little bit lower owned. And I need super high upside at wide receiver. I think Horton could be that talent-based guy. Don't love the Seahawks. Hey, they're not looking as bad. I mean, if their run game is so strong, if their offensive line is actually decent, they're taking pressure off Darnold. They can run some play action and get Horton the ball. I know that's what I was saying though. I had to do it. I know, and I had so the thing with Mahomes was like it was just a good pick when I made it, and I got him stacked with Kelsey. I took Kelsey first, and then Kyler comes back around. I've got Marvin Harrison Jr., and it's like I don't even need another quarterback. I thought it was a 2 QB build, and I thought getting Mahomes was expensive. I almost didn't take Mahomes. Yeah, that's hilarious. Don't discount the Gritty. One of these years, Gritty is going to take down Best Ball Mania, and we're all going to have to bow down. It could be the year. Yeah, for sure. Okay, blue goes there 174. So if this is a different draft tonight and I see blue going in this range, I'm going to take advantage of it, but this is not the draft for me to do that. Not the team for blue in this range, even though I drafted him way ahead of that. But then the news breaking on the ankle, if he's going to slow start to the season, miss a few games, probably doesn't matter too much in this format, but people are going to be drafting him later. And on a different team where I need running back in this range, I'd definitely grab him. Yeah, we were talking about it in the chat. Sharpman and Tyler were talking about the blue injury. I haven't seen it yet because I just moved over here and my TV's not in my office. So I have not seen. I can look it up on Twitter right now. Kind of this draft, they go so fast. Phil Maffa's in there running the ball in. That's what I'm seeing right now. Jesus. Imagine if Phil Maffa's the answer. The 1% of people on Twitter are vindicated for being Maffa bros the whole time. Ooh, A.O. Manor's another great pick. So is Coker. Chris Rodriguez is kind of fun. I've got 3 picks left. One of them has to be a tight end. I think my receiver room's looking better than I thought it would at this point. So I might just stop with 8. 3, 5, 8, 2. And not go full hyper fragile. We'll see. People, I don't know how sharp this room's going to be to Chris Rodriguez news, but I think he's a fun click. I'm kind of in this order right now. I have the least A.O. Manor, so I'm going to grab him on this squad. And then I think I'm chilling on the I don't even want to overstack Mahomes. I think the Hollywood and Kelsey and a Pacheco is plenty. So then I thought about JT Sanders. I could do Gesicki. Is Gesicki a total? No, the same bye week. I'm going to pass. I'm going to punt tight end. I've already got Mahomes. Coker or Mitchell. I'm going to go Coker. Up. Okay, positional limits. Did not update that, so I miss out on Coker. I did take Chris Rodriguez, probably actually a pretty decent pick. It's like the third time this has happened in the last week. I set my positional limit so I couldn't draft 9 wide receivers, and then I threw in Coker there, but I didn't click it. I let it go off of the queue, and the positional limit kicked in. So I'm done drafting receivers with those 8. And Ailman or Horton, Kyle Williams, one of them's going to have to bust out for me. Incredible. I definitely am going to grab that last tight end, though. I'm not going to end it with one tight end. But Chris Rodriguez on this team is actually very interesting. I just don't even know if I ever see him hit the lineup, but I thought about taking him anyways with my last round pick. I would have had to go on tight end there to make that work. So we'll see. Let's see if we get lucky and a tight end that I actually like comes back around. Can't take Gesicki. I could. The bye week, I'm pretty much giving up 6 points, 10 points at most that week with the week 10 bye overlap. Freiermuth to me is a better, more consistent pick and not the same bye week. Juwan Johnson also fits that bill. And then Dalton Schultz to me, I don't love him. I've not been drafting him as much lately. I was overdrafting him when it opened. Harold Fannin to me, it's like a meme. I don't know if I could even do it. That's kind of where I'm thinking this order. If it came between Gesicki and Schultz, I might lean Schultz just to avoid the bye week. Because Schultz to me is the exact same bet as Gesicki. A guy who can't block and just catches passes. The Texans could be throwing it a ton. Don't want a piece of the Saints or the Texans. That's up for debate. And then do I want any piece of the Steelers, especially if they're splitting work there? Freiermuth, though, kind of ran hot on touchdowns twice in his career. Schultz did it in Dallas, hasn't done it since. But maybe Schultz is going undervalued. This could be a Schultz team. Yo, what's up, Hoohames? How we doing, brother? Happy Friday. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping in, saying what up. Make sure you guys slap that like. And we're going to be ripping some drafts tonight. This is a best ball mania. It's getting wild. This one has started off completely in uncharted waters. It was going to be hyper fragile, and then I positional limit picked Chris Rodriguez out of the queue instead of taking Coker because I let it draft off the queue, which I always do, but I forgot I couldn't take 9 receivers, and I forgot that was going to be my 9th. But at the end of the day, it's all good. So it's almost a hyper fragile 3 QB build with way too much draft capital at QB. I've got Hurts, Mahomes, and Kyler Murray, but they're all drafted super far past ADP. So I've made up a ton of value with the QBs where I took them. It's just not really something I'd like to do to build a 3 QB team with that much draft capital at quarterback and Jalen Hurts. Hindsight's 2020. I need Maffa to get 7 more yards to parlay hits. There we go, dark side. Someone's making money off this Maffa thing. Yeah, they're definitely talking of Stover. Stover played with Stroud at Ohio State. Stover can block a little bit better. Schultz goes anyways, so I'm a little bit vindicated there, but I would consider it. I don't think it's the worst 18th round pick. I don't love the Schultz pick, but he should be on the field a decent amount, enough to matter. It's him or how much is Freiermuth going to be on the field? Are the Steelers going to run enough plays per game? Are they, even if they're running 2 tight end sets, is he going to get out targeted by Johnny Smith? So maybe I just go Juwan Johnson here, considering all of those things and the fact that he's the only tight end healthy on that team. I don't have any pieces of the Saints here. I feel like that's maybe not a bad thing because draft good players on good teams or just draft players on good teams in general. That's how it's going to go. I can't believe I didn't take Freiermuth, but I'm kind of worried about the Steelers. I think they might just suck. Very interesting team. At least the receivers are healthy. I think even Hollywood Brown is healthy lately. So with Kyle Williams, was that just some undisclosed thing going on? Maybe it was tightness or whatever it was, something, nothing serious. But and then Horton actually with the ankle lately, that's kind of a bummer. But let's throw him in. I need to upside for receiver on this one if I'm going to be able to take down teams that have much better earlier draft selections at receiver. So I think Horton, Aomanor could do that. Kyle Williams could do that. Healthy Hollywood Brown. Never thought I would be using Hollywood Brown as a linchpin of a receiver room, but here we are. 3583 build. What up, Errol? Yes, sir. You got the Chiefs banner. Love it. Love to see it. Thanks for being here, brother. Could have gone Theo. You know, with Theo Johnson, I'm not crazy about the Giants like so much. He's got the pedigree right out of Penn State, so he's somebody. 43 targets, 29 receptions, the yards, the touchdown. It's interesting that we've just heard so much more about Jatavian Sanders having a great camp and a great year too, where I think of like JT Sanders and Theo Johnson is like very similar range of outcomes for their year two. It just seems, and I've been thinking that all summer, but it seems like JT's getting more of the nod and has less competition at the tight end for snaps. And then the Giants, there's just, I don't know what it is about the Giants. There's a little bit more excitement around the Panthers right now and their offense going in the right direction than the Giants. But if you compare the teams player by player, I don't know how the offensive line stacks up. I think it's because the Panthers have just a better offensive line, and that's kind of what it is. But obviously Malik Neighbors, no joke. So yeah, Theo Johnson could have been a good pick for this one. I did have Wandale on this team, so I would have made a little bit more of a team bet on the Giants, and that could have been nice. Not anymore, Hartman. That was like 4 months ago. Schultz had like 16% Schultz at one point. I don't think I've drafted him in months, but yeah, I thought about it. I did think about Theo Johnson on this one. You guys are right. Could have done it. And also Hartman's not wrong. But I thought about it. I knew you guys in the corner of my eye. I knew you guys were talking about him. Stover on a 20 rounder the other day. That's pretty bold. The year that, oh gosh, was it the year that Ferguson broke out? Did Ferguson's breakout? Yeah, Jake Ferguson's breakout in 2023. I remember drafting him, and he was going mostly undrafted. For a while, I think. It was early. It was a big board. Williams got hit in the head. Oh, for Kyle Williams? Okay, I hope he's fine then. Russell Wilson hates tight ends. He'll learn to love Theo Johnson, maybe. Yeah, probably true. Yo, what up, Eddie? What's up, brother? Happy Friday. Hope you're doing good, man. Waiting on 2 for a big Elim. If you want to jump into one of those, Eddie's got the room ready to go. Me, on the other hand, I just ripped a Best Ball Mania 6, my 121st. So I've got 29 left. I think that's math right there. Let's review this team. Let's see what we got going. It seemed, here's the thing. Russell Wilson didn't get benched last season. Russell Wilson was not terrible last season. He came in for Fields. He benched Fields. And we're assuming Fields is going to start every game, but we're not assuming that Russell Wilson's going to start every game. Jackson Dart, he was drafted at the end of the first round. He could just, they're acting like they might want to play him. I think the media likes to say, oh, he's going to start sooner than later. I don't know. It could be an actual redshirt year for Dart. Hard to know. I don't think Russell Wilson is like that terrible in real life football. So if he's healthy, I think he plays a lot of games. So I've not been drafting a ton of dart lately. This team is a 3-5-8-2 best ball mania. Jalen Hurts, 3 picks past ADP. Patrick Mahomes, 15 picks past ADP. Kyler Murray, 25 picks past ADP. So I had to do it. I also had Marvin Harrison Jr. I got Bijan, Chase Brown, Travion, Isaiah Pacheco stacked. Chris Rodriguez, week 16 there. We got the correlation here, Arizona, Cincinnati. And then in week 15 or 16 with Bijan too, with Arizona. And the Falcons, I got Marv, Diggs, Marvin Mims Jr., yikes. Hollywood, yikes. Kyle Williams, get healthy. Wandale, okay. Horton, nice. Ayomanor, nice. Kelsey and Juwan Johnson. What year is it? It's a best ball mania. And I've jumped right back into another one. So let me start this best ball mania draft, and then we'll be doing more Rottweilers tonight too. So stay tuned. Make sure you throw a like on the stream. Make sure you vote. Are you going to be taking in the YouTube poll Bijan or Saquon as your first overall running back? Or are you taking Jahmyr Gibbs, Christian McCaffrey? Let me know in the chat. Come say what up and make sure you're subscribed. I'm trying to hit 500 subs by the start of the NFL season. I've also been saying if you comment on my videos, for every comment you do on my videos, my shorts, my live streams, it grants you one entry into a raffle that I'm doing for when I hit 500 subs. I'm going to give away one Best Ball Mania entry, a $25 reward randomly to someone who is subscribed. And every time you comment on a video, you get an extra entry. So that's a little fun thing for y'all if you're interested, just for my appreciation. And let's have some fun. Let's draft another team. This one's going to be, let me check. I almost did it off my phone. Let me just double check here the exposures. Yeah, it's going to be a McCaffrey team. Let's only 8% McCaffrey. Let's get that number up. So a lot of running backs tonight. We started off with a Bijan team from the 2 spot. This one's going to be a McCaffrey team from the 7. I'm feeling better. We're in the middle of the draft board. Not that I love the middle of the draft board, but we have the opportunity to catch some falling value and not just keep getting slammed at one side of the board, missing out on certain picks and being forced into certain picks. Kind of in the middle here, I'm not as tempted to get forced into a certain path, let the board dictate, what selections I can make, like the last one. Like the last one, I had to take Kyler at pick 122. It just would have been crazy not to, because if I didn't have Marvin Harrison Jr., maybe I wouldn't take Kyler there. I would just say, you know what? It's not Kyler's year, and that 25 pick drop isn't going to matter either way. But when I have the bet on Marvin Harrison Jr., then you have to take Kyler there. It's kind of what I came to in my mind. So I think that makes sense. I think even though it was crazy, I think that's the way to do it. Yeah, I got 29 left to go, and I'm going to be firing them off all in the next week practically. I'm going on vacation next week as well. So I'm going to be doing a ton of drafting tonight, probably tomorrow night, a little bit Sunday night, and then we'll see what it comes back around to during the work week. But I'm going to Fort Lauderdale next Friday. And if I do draft when I'm there, which I'll probably just do one a day in the morning when I wake up or something, we'll probably won't be on stream, but I'll be doing some golfing, some beach, maybe some fishing, definitely some drinking, hanging out with the bros in Fort Lauderdale. Okay. McCaffrey. Let's look at my combination tool. I don't have him with Ladd McConkey, so we're taking Ladd McConkey. Boom. Easy as that. And Ladd's been going in the middle of the second round all summer long. I've seen him go at pick 26 in a draft one time. I don't remember if it was a Best Ball Mania, but I think I've heard of people saying he's gone kind of early in the third round in Best Ball Mania. Very rarely. Still, I think totally good to get him there. I didn't have this combo. Shout out to the Best Ball Overlay. Use code GARAGE when you sign up for 25% off your premium subscription. Let me know if you have any questions. That's how I have my exposures here on the screen, my playoff week matchups and the combination tool that I upload my exposures to, my CSV, and then I get to see my entry fees, my exposures, the combinations of players that I do or don't have together, all of that good stuff. Thanks to Best Ball Overlay. I highly recommend it. If you're a high volume drafter, if you're a Best Ball DGen like me, then check it out. I think you'll like it. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at FFB Garage. You'll know I'm going live. And I'm always promoting other great content around the best ball space and community. And we can chat on there. You can, tag me. You can post your teams, whatever. And but you'll know when I'm going live. And if you're here on YouTube, you don't use Twitter, make sure you slap the bell, tap that bell, and get notified when I go live. If you want to come draft with me, chill in the chat, say what up, all that good stuff. Thanks for being here, guys. We're ripping the second Best Ball Mania 6 of the night. And please, let's get Lamar. Come on. Yes. Okay. Don't have any Marv. Don't have any Garrett Wilson, but we'll live without those guys. What are the odds that Jaden Daniels comes back around? I don't think very good from 42. It's definitely what's happening kind of all summer long. It's definitely happened before, but I'm going to get Lamar on this one. It'd be nice to get Jaden Daniels at pick 42. Who knows if he'd be there, though, but Lamar Jackson at pick 31, can't resist. Yo, what's up, Philly Mike? How we doing, brother? DJ Moore. That doesn't sound realistic. Let's see. I need someone to corroborate. I don't believe it yet. That was also 7 minutes ago. So, yeah, CMC fall because of the trade. No, Harmon, I think people are catching on that, like, McCaffrey's looking healthy and good. How could the Chiefs make a trade? They're playing in a game right now. You can't trade in the middle of a game, as far as I know. Plus, why would the Chiefs trade for DJ Moore? People are saying. Philly Mike, I think you got Scheftered, like the fake account. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen anything about that. Would have seen it already. The X-ray on Lamar Jackson's foot showed no damage. So Jay Daniels goes pick 34. If I pass on Jackson, would he come back around? Probably not. Hurts even went 38, so I feel a little bit vindicated. Worthy with Lamar is pretty cool. I'll do Pickens if not. I've done Pickens a bunch, though. Yeah, Worthy seems cool. No Cook and McCaffrey. That actually seems like a bigger hole. That seems like a major hole. I feel like James Cook and McCaffrey is a nice combo. So I'm going to pass on Worthy there to get Cook. And then that's just the Cook scenario where he's RB, whatever he was last year. Javonte Williams. Who was researching Javonte Williams? Definitely not me. Someone's been on my computer. James Cook. RB 11 fantasy points per game. That's more underwhelming than I thought, but that's the PPR version. So anyways, we're not really playing for season long. We're playing for a certain set of weeks. This is pretty zoomed in. Also, they definitely need to get dark mode on this. This is so bright. Where was Cook at the very end of the season? James Cook. He was running back 9, weeks 14 to 17. And then in week 17, he was running back. I think he was pretty far down, wasn't he? Yeah, 13. So could be better. Hey, they score a lot of touchdowns. Touchdowns win championships. So I feel it's McCaffrey with Cook. I feel like that combo, to me, I don't want to not have that in my entire portfolio. I don't know how many more McCaffrey teams I'm going to have. I think the odds would say I get like 2 more after this, or like 1.8 more. So something like that. Or if I don't just start reaching for McCaffrey, I'm trying to take all of the players up essentially at or right by their ADP in the first round now, just to stay a little bit more even in my last 30 drafts. I don't think there's a single player I want to like force in or slightly fade in the first round. The only one who I can think of is Achane because he's injured and he's typically a second rounder, typically has been most of the summer. Yeah, made it up. No, Paul, that was from days ago. I haven't opened that tab in days. I don't know why Javonte was on there. Nothing to do with blue. I'm still in on blue all the way. Okay, the Waddle team. It's an Igbuka team. Over Brees. Crazy. Over Brees and Harvey. Probably should have just taken Brees there. Let's just not think too much about that one. But at the same time, Igbuka, maybe he's just the wide receiver you need. Flowers was gone. Igbuka over Brees, crazy. Yeah, Hartman hates it. Hartman's a big Brees guy, though, but Hartman likes talented players. He just forgets that some teams are really bad. Yeah, how's Bill still on the board? Oh, you mean Bill? That's hilarious. He is young and kind of washed, and he does party a lot, apparently. Brees. Gosh, Brees was so talented coming into the league. The pass catching upside is so there with Brees, but does that get ruined by Fields? The more I've thought about it throughout the summer, it's like, I don't know, man. And then the whole narrative around Brees, the 1A, and Braylon Allen, the 1B. What's going on there? That doesn't sound good. Debo, a strong pick. Rice. God, this is the latest I probably have taken Rice ever if I get him here. So that's kind of interesting too. Rice goes. Pacheco, I would take. Pollard, I would consider. Rome is actually pretty nice on this team. I think I would tank Rome, but I'm going to take Debo first. Let me think about this. Okay. I know what I'm doing here. Boom. Ramadunze. Seems like a fine spot. He typically, that's probably the latest I've ever gotten him, and I haven't drafted him that much. Obviously, the week 17 bring back McCaffrey. Maybe he is the leading receiver for the Chicago Bears. But does it actually matter? Are the Bears even good enough? Can Caleb Williams get it done? Yeah, I know. The giant open hole that he runs through pretty much untouched, but people are drafting Bill higher than ever. What are you going to do? Hold up, might be cooking. Hartman was out when I skipped Brees at 56 or 55, but he's back in with Odunze at 66. I think I'm just taking, I mean, good player on a good team, good player on a fine team, good player on a good team, fine player on a good team, good player on a good team. I'll let you decide. Is this a bad player on a bad team? Is a good player on a bad team? To be determined. I think he could be a good player on a bad team. Pick 66, Adunze. I'm trying to think. Has he ever gone cheaper than that? 66 seems fine in the right build when you need a receiver in this range and the correlation, and I think it's totally fine. I mean, see Keon Coleman go 76. That's completely egregious. That's ridiculous. But Pollard's still there. Kind of a nice pick. Montgomery, not bad. Laporta, also interesting. Laporta goes. I'm going Pollard here. There's no doubt in my mind. Pollard 79 seems very nice. He's going to get so much work. Tajay Spears missing a little bit of time to start the season. And then we just know what Pollard's upside is. We were drafting Pollard at the 2-3 turn last year. Pollard was like a second round pick last year. So what? He misses some time. The Titans' offensive line is much better. The quarterback situation is much better. I think they're going to be in a lot more scoring opportunities with Cam Ward. Yes, sir, Hames. Yeah, you know it. You know it. So that helps me. I mean, Egbuka is one of my most drafted players. I obviously was drafting him at pick 79 a ton, but to take him at 55, I'm trying to chase players up the board. I'm not afraid to chase the right players up the board. There is, to some extent, like a limit, especially in Best Ball Mania, where it's been open all season long. Like, I don't want to just be drafting Keenan Allen at pick 100 when I've been taking it at pick 180. But you could argue the draft capital difference between that and then actually 79 to 55 is not so different. But I mean, flip flop some of these players. I feel like I could still compensate around. If Igbuka's the guy you need in week 17, you're not going to care if you got him in round 5 or round 7. As long as you can get the other pieces right and build a well-structured team kind of thing. 2 years ago, was it Hames? You're probably right. Where was Pollard going last year? Was that the year he got traded to the Titans coming off of his year in the Cowboys when we were drafting him in the second round? Probably was 2 years ago. Where was he going last year then? 4th round? I can't remember. I know Pacheco was going up there. Christian Kirk was like a 4th round pick last year. Okay, Downs goes. I was definitely going to consider Downs. Pittman Jr.'s kind of growing on me. Pollard was around 9-10. That's crazy. I think you're right, though, because the whole Tajay Spears thing. That's insane, though, the more I think about it. Man, I do need Shakir. I need Mark Andrews, too. What are the odds Mark Andrews comes back around at 103? Not great. Shakir goes anyways. Okay, we're set. We're playing it a little bit thin at wide receiver, but I'm going to be flexing Pollard most weeks. The running backs are very strong. Mark Andrews, got to have him on this team with Lamar. Just feels right. And I think it's not a bad tight end range anyways. Most people are going to be grabbing their first QB in the next 2 rounds. So I think the other skill position players I can take, whether it's a wide receiver or even another running back. Should be fine. Mayfield would have been an option there if I didn't have Lamar Jackson to go with Egbuka. I've seen Caleb fall sometimes too. I don't love Caleb I don't like taking Caleb Williams ahead of Jared Goff or Drake May. So tough. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get there. This is a best ball mania, the second one of the night, and my 29th remaining. Appreciate y'all chilling with me on a Friday. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good start to the weekend. Watching some preseason football, maybe watching some golf. Over there in Eastlake, we got the Tour Championship going on. Scotty Scheffler versus Russell Henley. It's cooking. I just got back from the beach today. I was chilling on the beach earlier today and getting some sun, touching some sand, jumping in some waves, having a good time. So appreciate y'all being here on a Friday. What are you guys drafting? Are you guys drafting Best Ball Manias? Are you drafting these Superflex Pugs? Are you drafting the Rottweiler? I think I'm going to hop into a Rottweiler right after this one. It's a time box tournament, $25 entry. The advance is 212, 15, 15, and then a 30-team final. So that's pretty interesting to me. That's pretty late. I think I would like him at that range. Okay, with my next pick, okay, Purdy. I was thinking Purdy there, but Purdy goes. I could do Godwin or Burden. I think I take Godwin first, and then I try to carry this team until Godwin comes back, and hopefully, it's only missing a few weeks. But I've seen Godwin go later. I've seen him go pick 114. I've seen him go pick 120 a few times, but generally he's been going pick 60 to 80 most of the summer. So I think Godwin at pick 100 on this team, where I do need a fourth receiver and I can make up some ground. And I have the team stack. I don't think it's actually negatively correlated with the Buka. I think I'm just betting on the Buccaneers passing offense to be very good. And the more time Godwin misses, maybe the more targets Egbuka gets, and then they're back playing together, and they're just both good. The Bucs are one of the rare teams that can actually carry 3 fantasy relevant wide receivers or just receivers, pass catchers. So I'm going to take that risk, pushing Burden around, Bateman, even Kirk. Colston Loveland's fun on this one. So is Evan Ingram. Kraft is nice. I would definitely consider Kraft if I didn't have a Mark Andrews, but I don't know if I need Kraft on this one. Well, the week 17, but maybe Andrews is more of the season-long bet. I have to think about it. I have to really think about what my team needs. Probably the most wide receiver. And then QBs, I have a QB in mind. I hope he's there later. He usually goes after Caleb Williams, so I'm going to keep... There goes Caleb Williams to the drafter who took... I don't know. Garrett Wilson went pick 36 in this Best Ball Mania, so just 36, I think Garrett Wilson's falling a little bit. Bill goes 107. You know what that means. I could roll that clip all day. Ingram, Kraft, Loveland, all go. Guys I was considering. So for me, it's Burden here. Yeah, it's Burden here for the most upside. Bateman's fine. I think it's Burden. So I've got Rome and Burden. That's pretty damn interesting. If you're going to bet on the Bears, that's a fun way to do it. I've got Egbuka and Godwin, McConkey, Mark Andrews, Pollard, Cook, McCaffrey, and Lamar Jackson. Let me queue up the obvious next pick for this team and then hope he's there. And then if no one takes Jared Goff, I don't think Jared Goff is worth letting fall. He could definitely have a worse season. Oh my god, I have 19% Jared Goff. That's so funny. I draft a lot of Gibbs. I draft a lot of JMO. Well, I just drafted a lot of Lions, I guess. I take Goff wherever I can get him. That's so funny. Goff goes. Somehow Goff is my most. I take some Tesla. I've been backstacking. I've been backstacking Goff teams with Tesla. Goff, I think, is pretty undervalued. I'm gonna take. I think I do take Herbert if he's there at 127 over Bateman even. Let me think more about that. I probably won't have the choice. Damn, Herbert goes. Hate to see it. I'm going to keep pushing forward. I don't need him. It would have been nice to get him stacked up with McConkey, of course. We'll make it work. Ayuk's kind of nice on this team. Even with Godwin injured too, I'm trying to use these running backs to carry. Ayuk comes back, week 6? Apparently Blue's injured, so we're going to keep pushing that. So annoying. Hate to see it. These injuries. Brian Robinson's still there. Crazy. I heard someone say Brian Robinson went pick 140 in a draft they were doing. So obviously I take Bateman here because I have the stack and I'm getting Bateman like 13 picks past ADP. And I almost took him over Burden. I didn't take him over Burden. I just queued him up there. I thought about taking him earlier. Ayuk would have been nice if I would have made a team bet on the Niners with McCaffrey. And then I've got those 2 Bears bringbacks with Odunze and Burden. But like doesn't have to take. I don't have to take. This team doesn't need another Niner on it. Another 49er to go with McCaffrey. It could just be McCaffrey against the Bears that I need. Keenan Allen at 130. He's also probably a better pick than Bateman straight up, but I'm going for the stack here. And then I've got plenty of teams with Keenan Allen at pick 180. Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind somehow. I've just been over here ranting. What pick is Bill good? He went pick 107 in this one, so he's going around pick 100. I think that's where you get in at least, right? I didn't end up getting in the Great Dane. It filled before I could draft it. I tried to draft it last week. It didn't work out. That's what I'm thinking, Paul. I mean, and maybe they're using Braylon Allen a lot. People are drafting Braylon Allen super high. Yo, what up, Steve? How you doing, brother? Hope your drafts were going great earlier today. Always good to see you in here. Thanks for stopping by, my man. The 10-hour Bill video. Oh my gosh. I've seen that before. Actually, I think I don't know if I told y'all this. That's what I listen to every night when I sleep. I just have Bill Nye the Science Guy on loop, the intro song, just looping. And that's what puts me to sleep every night. And then I listen to it as I'm sleeping. It's really relaxing. Just someone screaming, Bill, 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 into your ears. Oh, I can't go Michael Penix. Samson Eckler, Brian Robinson's still there. This is not the team for him. Dallas Goedert's kind of fun. I take a bunch of Dallas Goedert, 16%. It continues. Trying to figure out which QB I can just take or backstack. I think I'm going to go with like a late QB option and just end up with leaning into Lamar. It is about time for another running back, though. I haven't drafted a running back since round 7, and we're going to be in round 13. So now that I went Goddard there, just see who comes back around running back wise. Which is going to be pick 151. Also not a bad range to get a QB. Let me see. Maybe Cam Ward's there. And then Cam Ward, Lamar Jackson's kind of fun. I've already got Pollard. I can backstack Ward with Aomanor and Chig, although I did just take Goddard, so might not do 3 tight end. And Ward goes in. Ward goes 145. People are drafting Ward a bit higher. I think he's looking good in the preseason, and there's some hype around him too. So it's people are thinking about it. I might go super late QB options then. Hey, appreciate you, Steve. Yeah, I was talking about it earlier on the intro. I was talking about the matchup against Cody. We had Wednesday, was a lot of fun. And then this coming Monday night, it's going to be 9:30 p.m. Central, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, I think, is our start time for the finals. $151 coming up. I think it's running back time. Sampson is still there. Brian Robinson Jr. is still there. Do I take him with the handcuff with McCaffrey in this one? I mean, what do I do? That's the latest I've ever seen him go in a draft. I've got McCaffrey. Do I just take both? Let's play chicken. Let's see if somebody else takes him. This is wild, though. But Sampson's also a decent pick at 151. Dude, someone has to take Brian Robinson. If no one on this side of the board takes him, I'll take him at 162. I probably should have just taken him at 151. I have McCaffrey, though, so I'm kind of like, my hands are tied. Why would I take... You know, if I wasn't taking Garendo before pick 160, why would I take Brian Robinson before 160? On a McCaffrey team, no less. Where are you guys seeing Brian Robinson go, and where are you drafting him? And would you draft him with the McCaffrey team? Because now I'm confused. Absolutely not. I would have went Sampson over him also. Okay, thank God. Thank God. Yo, what's up? How we doing, Koo? You got Knicks, JT, Kyron. Okay, I like the running back start. You got Justin Jefferson, London, and Devontae. That's fun. Thoughts on an 8-man? Yeah, I mean, that's Knicks. So my only thing for an 8-man is, my rule is, the smaller the league size is, the higher you want to take quarterback. So like, I would want one of the top 4 QBs in the situation, but I can't hate on those skill position players. Those are pretty elite at running back and wide receiver. Who's your tight end? Did you do good there too? And then I think Knicks, though. Knicks is very exciting. I've been high on the Broncos. There he is. Bindles, what up, brother? I've been high on the Broncos all offseason, so I'm really excited to be drafting Broncos pieces where I can, although it seems like I just never get a chance to get Knicks in the Best Ball Mania tournament because... So Hartman and Huhames, would y'all take him at pick 162? B-Rob went 139. Do I take him at 162 with McCaffrey? I feel like I pass on him again and keep playing chicken and let someone else take him. But who do I even need here at 162? I technically need a QB and maybe some more running backs, maybe a wide receiver. Okonkwo goes. Henry's there. Thornton's kind of fun. Horton's kind of fun. Yeah, I think it is kind of crazy. That's what I was saying, Huames. I think it's kind of crazy. Like, what's the upside of Brian Robinson on the 49ers if I have Christian McCaffrey? No Wandale love. Bindles. Well, the problem with Wandale there is, and I might still take him, I need to figure out my QB2. And Horton sets me up nicely, but that is my 7th receiver. And I'm going pretty deep on receiver here because I did some kind of weird things with like Godwin. And then, okay, Brian Robinson goes 166 for those who are keeping tabs. This could just be a Sam Darnold team. His ADP is 180. I'm cool with taking him with my next pick, 175, if he's there. If not, I'm gonna have to just go with Daniel Jones or something like that. I could do Stafford. I'm more worried about Stafford though, for obvious reasons. 1472 build. Took Lamar Jackson. I got Mark Andrews and Rashad Bateman stacked up. How we doing, Bindles? How's your Friday night going, my man? And then Bindles, I just thought about this. We'll talk about this later, but Monday night is the Jeopardy finals, and the semifinal with PPR Tyler and Neil is at 9:30 Central, and then at 10:30 Central is the finals with me versus one of those two. So we either need to do ballsy quickly before that, or we just need to do it like Tuesday night, or just take a different night or something. We'll have to figure that out. I don't know if we've scheduled everything yet, but we'll have to connect. I just thought of all this. You pulled an all-nighter last night unintentionally. Just partying. Party animal. I did not pull it on. I fell asleep last night. It's probably 11 p.m., but I was in bed in a hotel room at the beach last night with my kids. I had my daughter. She was asleep by like 9. My son was asleep in his little like crib pop-up thing by probably 8:30. We got home late from dinner, 8:30. So he went right to bed. Then she fell asleep, and I was in there. And then my wife had one of her friends who lives in Galveston that she was chilling with at the hotel bar, and they stayed up until about, I don't know, like 11:30. But I just remember waking back up when she came back in the room at 11:30, or it was even 11. So I could not hang last night. I think I fell asleep re-watching the draft that had just finished, the FFPC draft that Sean Siegel did. It was a ship chasing draft. So I think I watched like the first 5 minutes of it and fell asleep. But I was trying to catch that. And then I saw tonight, I got home from the beach, and then I saw that the ship chasing guys did another draft with Gretsch tonight. So that was fun, just listening through all their takes. And then Bendels, you saw Gretsch and Sean, they posted their round 1 and then 2 for 2026 redraft leagues, their top 24. I don't know if you've listened to those already, Bendels. Maybe you stayed up late listening to those, but I listened to them on my drive to and from the beach, and super, super fun, interesting stuff. Oh, no, he was working. See, I forgot that today's Friday. I took the last 2 days off to go to the beach, so I was thinking it was the weekend. So you're pulling an all-nighter for work? I hate that. I've done it before. I try never to do that again, but we all end up there sometimes. Not fun. T's and P's to Bendels. Ooh, Keaton Mitchell's nice on this team. I'm going to do it. There's no way the guy with 7 running backs and 1 quarterback takes Keaton Mitchell, right? There's no way. You have to be on one to get to Keaton Mitchell. This guy's not on one. This guy's off of everything. He takes Isaiah Likely. Probably not the worst pick. Definitely an ADP pick. I already know who I'm taking. I'm taking Keaton Mitchell here. And then let's see if Ale Manor comes back around. 2572 build. I think my next 2 picks are both luxury picks. I'm going to chill on QB and just roll with Lamar and say he's the truth, which is, we all know is right. He's the answer. Got Darnold in there to cover the bye week and for some spikes. Pair him up with Torrey Horton. I've got McCaffrey, Cook, Pollard, Dylan Sampson, Keaton Mitchell. Could definitely be done with those 5. So I might be done with those 5 running backs. I might just grab another receiver, which would make a lot of sense here. I'm going to have Godwin out for a few weeks. Torrey Horton could even miss some time and not have a huge role in the beginning of the season. So let me grab one more receiver and then also consider one more tight end. Dallas Goedert's never played a full healthy season. Mark Andrews in there, getting after it, blocking a ton, could get injured. Ooh, C-Rod does go 193. So there's some sharp drafters in this room, people paying attention. I don't think I needed the extra running back though, so I need a receiver. It's Troy Franklin. It could be. I don't have any Green Bay pieces. Somehow I did not get a Green Bay piece. I don't have any Carolina pieces. I think Coker just went. Yep. Coker went. Ailmanor went. So I could do Franklin. I like Ray. Malik is kind of a cool pick. I haven't gotten him in Best Ball Mania yet, apparently. But I think I've done it in other formats. And maybe I just haven't updated my exposure in the last couple of days to get that in there. Where else to go? Nowhere else to go. Noah Brown. Ooh, and then Franklin does go. People are paying attention. Somehow I'm getting a big bag of a Ray McLeod, but if Mooney's going to miss some time, what's the latest update on Mooney? Mooney. Still week to week. And then we just think Michael Penix Jr. is him, so plus plays in the final game of week 17. I need to figure out what do I do for this last pick? Quorum or Jarquez Hunter are both there. Monin guy's there. DJ Giddens. I don't love the receivers. Tight end. Gesicki or Freiermuth might be worth taking. Juwan Johnson again. Were we all saying about golf earlier? '19 golf is a thing. Yeah, I don't know how it got that big, the golf exposure. I think I just was doing more looking into last season, and I realized like how good golf was. I don't even have that much JMO anymore. It's hard to get JMO. JMO rose so much. Yeah, I don't let golf fall, so I'll take golf and then backstack them was the thing. Yeah, there's so many good QBs in that range too. I would never let golf go past pick 143. You can get Tesla, grab Tesla in the 60s. Just pull them up. Don't let someone else grab them before you do. I'm sure you've already made that pick, though, by this point, though, Hartman. Okay. Is it the Malik Washington team? No, I'm not taking the 9th wide receiver. It's just not going to get me there. Let me take the tight end and go with Gesicki and go with God on this one. Him or Freiermuth, Arroyo. Let's do a Harold Fannin. Boom, we throw it in there. Harold Fannin. Didn't have one yet. Gesicki didn't make much sense. Should return soon. He's injured. I have too much Gesicki. The week 9 bye. Whatever. People are saying Harold Fannin's good. Get him in around 18 when you need a third tight end. Okay. I'll mix him in. This team kind of just came together. I don't know if I like it or if I love it. Yeah, what's up, Jim? Have zero interest in B-Rob. Yeah. That's tough. Which is probably right. They just kind of pulled him out because they want to be safe with them, and it's a preseason game. So if you get any kind of small ding, let's just hope it's not that bad for my bag's sake and for the fun of watching good football. Yeah, true. You guys are keeping me on the straight and narrow. Yeah, hell yeah, Hartman. There you go. I know Steve was talking about the advanced structure for the big elim, and then I also heard Liam talking about it. I did not enter a big elim. I don't know if I will, but I forget which week is kind of that inflection point. It seems like it would naturally be week 8. But yeah, that's a fun format to think through. Different one. All right, this is Best Ball Mania, number 2 for the night, number 131 overall, 2583 build with Lamar Jackson pretty much at ADP, Sam Darnold at ADP. So, but I got McCaffrey, and then I have Rome Odunze and Luther Burden for the Week 17 bring back. I've got Pollard in Week 15. I don't think I have any indie pieces on this one. James Cook, because I didn't have any McCaffrey Cook builds, so I passed on Xavier Worthy to grab Cook there. No regrets, really. I think this one ended up nice for a 5 running back build. Tony Pollard fell to me too. I've seen people taking Pollard in the 60s. I get him here, almost pick 80. That feels pretty good. And then, like I said, he plays San Francisco in Week 15. Dylan Sampson, I think, is just a talented player. Let's see what he can do. Keaton Missile for the boys in the chat, for the men in the chat, because only real men draft Keaton Missile. Lad McConkey, I also did not have him paired with McCaffrey, so why not? Egbuka, yeah, we pulled him up even more. Maybe he's the guy you need. And I took him with Godwin, so I'm just investing in that Tampa Bay passing attack. I got a Dunze with Burden, which makes you think maybe I'd have Caleb Williams or Baker Mayfield on this team. No. But still, you can invest in a team stack and not necessarily have to have the QB and be just fine. Good players, good or bad teams if you're the Bears, but it should work out. Bateman, he fell a bunch of picks to me. That's a nice little stack there. Horton, and then I backstacked him with Darnold, so I made that happen, which was fun. I couldn't get Coker. Ended up going with Ray, who's become one of my auto clicks in round 17, 18 range. If I need a receiver, could have gone a bunch of different ways, but Ray is the way I've been doing it lately. Probably need to just get it a little, do a little bit different there and figure it out. Yeah, cook the Aggies, but I guess I did see some of that. What week did they play Bowling Green? I probably did. I probably saw some highlights of that. That's funny though. See, the thing about the Aggies, Paulino, is they take up 0% of my thought or my headspace. I mean, they're just so insignificant that they don't even cross my mind. So you could say that I would like Fannin because he cooked the Aggies, but it doesn't even register because the Aggies are an afterthought. Okay, yeah, week 8 pays a feedback. That's the inflection point. And then you have a pretty solid team there with you have Purdy with CMC. I like that. Connor, always undervalued. Good pick. Montgomery's a nice pick in this format. Bigsby, no idea. Bill, no idea. And then the Brown, Evans, Sutton is pretty strong. Debo's great. Mims is fun. Jonnu, Taylor, Higbee. I would just say your tight ends are kind of strange, but if you believe in Jonnu, then you're good. For me here, I did Mark Andrews, Goddard, and Harold Fannin. So different. Should be strong, could be strong. I guess receiver is the weak point, but if Egbuka is him, if Odunze takes a step forward, if Burden can be someone on later on in the season, same thing with Horton. I think I'm covered. Ray covers me early while Godwin's out, and then maybe these rookies are catching up to speed. You could kind of argue that. He's like the chaperone, right? The running back room seems plenty strong to get it done. So that's a fun little best ball mania. I think it's sufficient. I kind of took what the board gave me, tried not to get forced into any certain picks, being in the middle of the board here. I think the draft capital is kind of appropriate too. Staying balanced through my first 5 picks, 2 and 2 and 1, but then sticking to receiver and at certain points in this pocket here, hammering receiver when other people were taking the QB, since I already had Lamar. And then I'm going to do like a late QB2 approach and getting some double tapping tight end in this range as well. Upside swings on the back half of the running backs. And that's how it goes. Yeah, Johnny. And then Higbee. Some people are really in on Higbee too. I'm not out on Higbee. I'm not really drafting him a ton. The whole the whole Matt Stafford thing is a little bit concerning just for the Rams in general. But man, Blake Corum and Jarquez Hunter go undrafted in this one. Maybe I should have taken one of those guys over Fannin. It's hard to see how one of those guys can't pay off, doesn't have huge upside as an 18th round pick. So very interesting. Let's do another draft. I think I'm going to do a Rottweiler now. So let me go. First, we just did 2 best ball manias. Is the Rottweiler filled? Did it fill while I was here? There's no way, right? The Rottweiler is showing up on my phone, but it's not showing up here. And it is 90% filled. Where is it? Yeah, it's still there. We're gonna draft some Rottweilers. It just wasn't loading. That's weird. Just a desktop thing. Okay. Let's do a Rottweiler. I'm going to enter it now. I'm going to enter it into the chat. And then I'm going to enter it. Let's get after it. Waiting on 6 if you want to jump in. Draft with us. I'm switching my exposure to all tournaments on the Best Ball Overlay tool. Shout out to Best Ball Overlay. Use code GARAGE when you sign up for 25% off your premium subscription. You get access to the tool that I'm using here. We got Off the Wall in the 5. We've got me in the 6. Hartman, my dog, in the 7. And Steve in the 12. Nice. It's a pretty sharp room. It's only 2 out of 12 advanced, so we're going to have to fight these guys off for these picks. Let me roll a clip and go get some more water, stretch my legs. Be back in 10 seconds. Slap that like. Make sure you vote in the YouTube poll. I'm going to close the YouTube poll when we get back and make this first round pick. What clip do we want to see right now? Let's roll one of the classics. Let's roll some Genty. Heyo. How we doing? Happy Friday, everyone. Thanks for joining me and being here. Hope your Friday is going well. We're ripping some best ball drafts tonight. Nothing new. Been doing it all summer long. So make sure you're subscribed. Come watch some live drafts. Draft with me. Hang out. Say what up in the chat. Be a part of the community. A lot of sharp drafters and good people in here in the best ball community. And they're in here in my room trying to knock me out of this tournament live. I take McCaffrey at 6. Let's go. Hartman's going to take Jefferson at 7, and he's going to chat and say, I can't believe you passed on Jefferson there. But you know what? Time box tournament, bro. Also, cheers. It's Friday night. Let's have a little Guinness. A little Guinness on draft. There we go. Perfect. It's 11 p.m. here. The kids are asleep. The dog's asleep. The wife is probably asleep. I haven't seen her in a while. I don't know where she is. She probably fell asleep. We were at the beach all day today. Touching some sand, catching some waves, catching some sun rays. And we were at the pool yesterday at the hotel. Chilling, hung out with some friends last night, went to a nice dinner at a very classy joint called the Rainforest Cafe. My daughter loves it. I mean, I love it too. It's a lot of fun. And so, yeah, I've had a great last couple of days of vacation. I'm back here streaming. Last time you guys saw me live was Tuesday night. I ripped a bunch of drafts. And then on Wednesday, I was live with the Fanspeak Network for Best Ball Jeopardy. Took down Cody in a well-fought battle. Came down to the last question. He got the daily double and doubled up his points. And so he almost caught up to me there. But I made it to the finals. So the finals for Best Ball Jeopardy on the Fanspeak Network. It's going to be Monday night. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you're subbed there as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. And it's either going to be me versus Neil Orfield or PPR Tyler. And I'm excited. Going to be fun. What can we get into here with McCaffrey as the first pick? Across all tournaments. Chase Brown would be fun. Bucky Irving. Jonathan Taylor. I don't have Jonathan Taylor with McCaffrey. That seems like it's too good to pass up. So, McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, welcome to the squad. Cheers. Happy Friday. Make sure you're subscribed. I'm trying to hit 500 subscribers before the start of the NFL season. I'm going to go refresh now and make sure you vote in the Twitter poll. I'm about to close it. Do you believe in Bijan? Do you believe in Saquon for 2025 as your RB1? We got 24 people watching and only 17 likes, but there's still time. Smash the like button. Come say what up in the chat. Make sure you're subbed. We've added one sub since the start of the stream, which was like almost 2 hours ago. So we can do it. We can get these numbers up. And technically, I said I wasn't going to do another draft until we hit 25 likes. This is the third draft of the night, so I'm spoiling everyone here. What else is new? Let me catch up with y'all in the chat, but make sure you vote in the poll. And I'm going to close it soon. Yeah, Steve, I was probably just doing something wrong. Yeah, that's funny, Eddie, but it's like you never know who's going to be eliminated by then, so you just get lucky is kind of my thinking for the eliminator format. Hartman going to be sniping the streamer. I have to hide my queue. Hide your kids. Hide your wife. Hide your queue. Stream snipers taking all your players. Ooh, man. I mean, I did start the double elite running back. And then some of my favorite picks have already gone. Should I just go Marvin Harrison? Yeah, it's hard to pass on Josh Allen. I want to get a receiver, though, before it's too late. I just took Hurts. I just took Lamar Jackson. So I'm going to see what I can do later on here. And then you never know what you're going to get at pick 43. Steve starts with Brian Thomas Jr. and Derrick Henry. That's pretty fun. Hartman gets Jefferson and A.J. Brown, and then Josh Allen. So I've gifted Hartman, Jefferson, and Josh Allen. He really is taking advantage of this streamer room being so soft. All right, y'all vote in the YouTube poll. I'm going to close it now. Up to 18 likes. Hey, got one more. Can we get up to 480 subs? Someone watching out there out of 23 people, 22 people, maybe isn't subbed. Do me a favor, hit the sub button. Let's get it. I'm going to end the poll now. 19 votes. Bijan, it's 2025, bro. Got 63% of the votes. The 36 goes to Saquon, easy money. So still pretty split, but that follows like closely to ADP and would make sense to have Bijan first and Saquon after that. 1% rounding error. Somehow there's 1% missing in the vote, but maybe that's the Gibbs voter. We see Gibbs go ahead of Saquon here. All right, let's bring on some tunes because we're getting into these ones. Let's go. Okay, I'm going to go Hurts there. Pretty much the only reason I would pass on Josh Allen at 31 is because I thought I could get Hurts at 43. And it works out. This tournament, it's a Rottweiler. $25 entry. I don't know, 7,000 people, maybe less. I have no idea. But it's a 2 out of 12, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 5, advance. And then week 17 is a 30-person final, so very small relative to a Best Ball Mania, which is 500 plus. Some of these other tournaments, puppies and those things, 300, 400, 500 people. So the week 17 correlation, not really the biggest thing in this one. I'm going to wait towards ADP value, drafting the right players, drafting healthy players who aren't going to miss a lot of time, and team stacking and, you know, draft capital allocation and taking a good balance of players at different positions across the early rounds. Because I think it's more important to advance out of your pod. And then obviously it'd be week 17. Gotta get there, bro. It's kind of the approach on this one. Only 30 teams. You could show up and be like the only team that has a combo of McCaffrey and Jonathan Taylor. But if those are the guys you need, there probably are some other teams that would make it through. It's just the nature of only being 30 teams in the finals. I might be the only one with those two and Hurts. You never know. Should I pull up Deebo Samuel? Travis Hunter. I'm gonna push Deebo. Go Travis Hunter here. Ken Walker available. He's kind of hurt though. I don't love that. I'm good at running back, so I'm gonna let Walker go there again to Hartman. He keeps scooping up all these value picks. I'm not even sure what Walker's ADP is right now, but 55 seems really nice. Yeah, it's closer to 48, so very nice scoop there for Hartman, getting Ken Walker. I'm gonna go Travis Hunter. I'm kind of surprised the run of receivers that went, and then Buka goes pick 49. So in a time box tournament where ADP does not matter as much, we see Buka going all the way at 49. Very interesting. Let's go. I'm going to go retweet the fact that I'm live. So I'm hopping over to Twitter. Appreciate y'all being here with me on a Friday draft, and hope you guys are having a great Friday night, getting ready for a nice little weekend. Pacheco at 61 to Steve. I like it. He team stacks with Worthy. I think Pacheco being healthy, looking good in preseason, wheels up. I know, Hartman, but isn't he so good? But isn't Egbuka so good? You see him going ahead of where Godwin was going, like peak, like Godwin ADP. But we always knew Godwin was going to miss sometimes, so I guess it makes some sense. If you think he's like 1-for-1 as good or better than Godwin. I can't go wrong with this next pick. Flowers goes to Hartman, 66. Nice scoop there. I'm going to go Deebo. Could take Golden as well, but Deebo to me is a smash pick. If Jaden Daniels is just so highly efficient and so good, and this offense is so high scoring, high firepower, good offensive line, a lot of scoring opportunities, high pace of play, then Deebo Samuel might actually have the ability to get there with touchdowns and low volume, or could just actually get some more targets than he usually does. I think one thing Gretsch was saying on Monday to Bindles and I was the splits for Jaden Daniels. In the split where he's not injured with the rib injury mid-season, and then down the stretch after he came back from the rib injury and was like actually healed after a few weeks, I think Gretsch was saying that the Commanders were averaging like 70 plays a game, which is like an insane pace. And what really slowed it down was the rib injury midseason for Jaden Daniels, where he was more limited and he wasn't running the ball as much. And he had like less, I think he was averaging like 80 rushing yards, or maybe it was like 8 rushing attempts per game at some point. I'm conflating all the stats, all the things, messing it up, but very bullish on Jaden Daniels. For me, Jaden Daniels is an auto click in the 4th round right now. If you can get Jaden Daniels in the 4th, it's like just take him. And I'm kind of the same way with Hurts right now too. So trying to get my exposure to both those guys up, even though my Jaden Daniels exposure is pretty nice. I think across all tournaments, I'm not sure. Let's see. Only 10%, but I think in Best Ball Manias, it's a little bit higher than that. It might be around that now. 1, 2, 3, 0 build. Getting into my 7th pick right now. A couple players just went off the board. Jordan Mason and Tyler Warren go. Very interesting selections there. I could do Montgomery. Kind of a nice floor pick. Maybe helps me get out of this pod, but then I need some strength at receiver. Juwan Jennings. Let's take Juwan Jennings. Hope the calf is not a huge issue, but I hate to see like the calf injury lingering. At this point, it seems like something that could easily re-aggravate or be a big problem. Jennings at 78 is fine. It doesn't really matter where he's been going the rest of the season because it's a time box tournament, so it is what it is. I'll take him there. I thought about taking another player, but I'm trying to avoid the injured players. I drafted one there with Jennings. Dio, what's up? Yeah, I think the whole thing is like, for me, talent wins out, because you could argue, look at the team Egbuka was playing on in college. Henderson, Travion Henderson on that team, Quinshon Judkins on that team. All of those years of, I think he crossed over with Jackson Smith and Jigba. He crossed over with who am I forgetting right now? Jeremiah Smith, of course. So like Egbuka's played with better players in college than he is in the NFL even, except you could argue Mike Evans, who's a Hall of Famer. But Egbuka's like Travion Henderson is better than Bucky Irving, like pure talent wise. And then, yeah, Egbuka's played with extremely talented players his whole collegiate career, so there's nothing new there. I don't think it's a hot take to say Travion Henderson's more talented than Bucky Irving. I was talking about it in the first draft earlier too. I think Travion Henderson's one of the most talented running backs in the league right now. It's like there's a few guys, Bijan, Gibbs, Saquon, but Saquon, is getting up there in age. There's just guys who are in better team environments, better positions. And that's when you come around to like Bucky being on the Buccaneers versus Travion on the Patriots. A little bit of a difference there. I'm going to go Zach Charbonnet, pull him up just a bit. We'll see how healthy Ken Walker is and what the true workload split is between a 1A and a 1B. Plus, I don't need a QB. There's a lot of QBs available here. Might as well push tight end a little bit more. Yeah, the 6th round, so many good wide receivers right now. I think the 6th round is like the best round to get a receiver. Even the 4th, there's a lot of good receivers that go in the 4th. Some are a little overpriced, but the tough part in the 4th is you can still get good running backs and some good tight ends, some good QBs. In the 6th, there's like no alternative. It's like take your favorite running back if you can get them. Otherwise, it's all receivers. So true. Yeah, for sure, Steve. Kriyath, what's up, brother? How you doing? Hope you're having a great Friday, man. Yo, what up, Dirty? Very ballsy, right? He's talented, man. He's talented. He's in a good spot, a good offense. Do I need the receiver here? I could use a receiver. I'll take Dobbins. I like the Broncos a lot, so in this kind of tournament, I'll take a Dobbins. I don't have to worry about other people getting him cheaper. It's kind of the range he just goes in. So I can double tap there, Charbonnet and Dobbins. Makes me feel good about taking an early QB because I'm not taking a QB in this range, and I'm going to keep pushing tight end, I think. So, like, here's another thing about Egbuka. He's not going to be better than Mike Evans, and Mike Evans, maybe, well, it's hard to know. You can't really assume anyone can have a career or even like a start to a career like Mike Evans. So let's not go that far. He's not going to be better than Mike Evans, but Mike Evans also is getting up there in age. So maybe there's some passing of the torch. But the whole thing is, what's the best we've ever seen out of Chris Godwin? It was essentially his prorated season last year before the injury, but even across his career, I remember when Chris Godwin was the Dynasty wide receiver 101. Egbuka is a higher pedigree wide receiver than Chris Godwin ever was. Like, it's not even close. So if we're taking Godwin, which, yeah, he was injured, but we were saying we're going to draft him around pick 60, 70, knowing he'd miss a few weeks or be slow to start, 90% to maybe play the first 3 or 4 weeks was kind of the assumption early on. And he's going pick 65. Why wouldn't we take Egbuka ahead of that? He goes pick 49 in this draft, which is also, it is pretty extreme. I'm not going to take him that early, but Egbuka's definitely, I mean, I have to go back and double check on Godwin in college, but like, I can't remember that many wide receivers that were coming out of college with like a better collegiate profile. And he did play 4 seasons. Some guys had single seasons that were better than Egbuka's single best season, but playing for Ohio State for 4 years, I mean, that's something in its own. Kind of the top of the top. You think of guys like JSN coming out who had like an incredible year at Ohio State, Olave, Garrett Wilson. This is the same range of outcomes. Bill is there. Luther Burden is there. I'm going to go Burden. Pretty certain. I get my 5th wide receiver. Still no tight end. 1450 with Jalen Hurts, McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, Zach Charbonnet, J.K. Dobbins. I feel really good about that running back room. I could do hyper fragile and be done with those 4. Marvin Harrison, Hunter Debo, Juwan Jennings, Luther Burden. I just don't know. It's like if I did go hyper fragile here, what else would I get? So I need to start sacking up some other QB or tight end options quickly if I am going to actually stop with the 4 running backs. So I don't think I will, because I didn't grab the elite tight end. I'll probably just take one more upside running back later. Let's see. Last couple picks. Hartman grabs Higgins, Loveland, Scattaboo. He's got Josh Allen. Steve took Mahomes and Purdy. He got a big bet on the Chiefs there. That makes sense. He grabbed Coleman at 85, sniping Hartman. And then where did Shakir go? I thought I saw Shakir go already too, obviously. Yeah, 83. ETN at 109. Goff does not fall on this one. Dang, I would have liked Njoku there. Could have been nice. Oh, and I would have liked Keenan Allen too. Those were the 2 picks I wanted. I said I was going to wait, and then I didn't do it. I just jammed in another running back. Bashal Tootin, though, thinks it has one of the more interesting upside scenarios for the rookie running backs. So I grabbed Tootin at 126, a little bit early. Braylon Allen 129. So I was going to ask you guys where you see Braylon Allen going in this tournament, where, you know, it's like an ADP reset. He does get pulled up quite a bit. Hartman passing on Kincaid to grab McCarthy to go with his Justin Jefferson. I think that makes a lot of sense. True. And Evans came on strong down the stretch of last season too, so it's not like Evans is fading at all. Yeah, Egbuka in the 80s and 90s was nice for a while. That's where I have him mostly drafted in Best Ball Mania, which I'm feeling good about now, but hard to know which players are going to rise and which are going to really fall to the extent that they do until it happens. But sometimes we can kind of see these things coming a little bit. This is the wide receiver cliff, kind of not a good spot to need a wide receiver. I don't think I really need one. I'm a 1-5-5-1 build right now. My running backs are definitely solid though. Could probably stop at those 5. So I'll do some more late wide receiver action. Maybe take some more tight ends before it gets too late. Dallas Goedert as my first tight end, I don't mind, especially stacked up here. Feel pretty good about these receivers. Just not exactly sure who my QB2 is going to be yet, but it doesn't really matter so much when I've got Jalen Hurts. I feel like I could take anyone. Like I passed on Trevor Lawrence there. It would have been a miracle if Trevor Lawrence came back around to pick 139. But if he was there, I would have had him stacked with Tootin and Travis Hunter. Otherwise, I just have a big bet now on the Jags. So with Hunter and Tootin still paying off. Shipley going 144. The drafter in the 1 spot's been doing whatever he wants this entire draft. Like, living in his own world. He pulls up Hampton a little bit, gets Hall there, which is where it kind of goes now. He pulls up Egbuka, he pulls up Mason, pulls up Warren, takes Nix and Mayfield. Seems fine at the time. Mims. He does grab Bill at 121. He gets Shipley at 144 and Kyle Williams at 145. Not even like a terrible team, just a lot of big reaches. So get your guy season, apparently. I don't love getting tight end here. I've not been drafting a ton of Hollywood, and now I'm getting him so much in these wide receiver dead zone kind of spots. I feel like I don't want to do it, though. So I'm going to take Tua there. Whoever else needed Tua on your team, sorry, I did it. Tua to go with Hurts makes a bunch of sense. I could have done Darnold again late. Or Danny Dimes. I didn't have any great options though, so I'm gonna take Tua and just assume that he's kind of a little bit better than those guys, and I'll stack them up. I've got some ideas on how to do that in the back end. Yeah, I mean, the 49ers have essentially like no healthy wide receivers, right? So it's Ricky Pearsall. They got Kittle, McCaffrey. And then even that rookie they were liking for a while there, Jordan Watkins, he ended up getting injured. Demarcus Robinson's going to miss time with, I think, injury and legal cases potentially. And then I took Juwan Jennings here, but he's dealing with the calf, and that didn't seem great. Seems like it could linger. Not ideal. Do I like Genty Henry or Genty Nico come better with 2-2-1 flex? For me, I like Genty Nico better. I'm a pretty big Nico bull, though. I think Nico Collins is very good, and if he wouldn't have gotten injured last season, he could be in the conversation for like a top 3 overall wide receiver in the league. We'll see if he can do it, though, in 2025. I like Derrick Henry just fine. But if I'm going to have Genty, I want to pair him up with Nico for me. More Pearsall. Yeah, I've been taking more Pearsall than I was. That's hilarious. Huhames is an oracle. He's predicting the future, and he's probably not wrong. But it's pretty funny. Man, I have so many running backs. What do I do here? I need a receiver. Do Tilly. Pull up Horton again. Looks like we're pulling up Horton again. And he's injured, so it's not even a great idea to do it. Oh no, Hunter Henry. I'm going to take Hunter Henry first. I almost forgot about tight ends existing. That's between him, Ertz, Okonkwo, all fine picks. But I will get Hunter Henry there. I'm kind of building out like these late tight ends. Goddard still goes late enough where it's not even like an early tight end with 2 other late guys. It's like 3 late tight ends if I take 3. Yeah, Sky Moore. That's crazy dirty. Y'all are nuts. Okay. So much Ricky Pearsall. He could be good. He's been good in spurts. He's also been bad in a lot of games. But I guess they're not going to have many options. So if they can, if the 49ers offense can make Juwan Jennings a thing in 2024, they should be able to make anyone work. And Pearsall, at least, is not terrible, right? At least we think he's not. I think his floor is pretty low, but he had some nice weeks. I think I'm good on running back. I'm going to consider tight end and wide receiver most first. Let's see what happens here. Okonkwo goes to off the wall. I would have really considered Okonkwo there, but I will just take Troy Horton. 14% Ricky. Yeah, let's see. My Ricky is going to be like 3% or something. 4% Ricky. 9 McCaffrey, 8.5 Kittle, which I don't know how I got that low, but 4 Ricky, 4 Jennings, 7 Purdy, 4 Ayuk. I just have no 49ers, which seems bad. But they're all hurt. And McCaffrey's the only one you want. Ooh, Ollie Gordon going. Wanted Ollie Gordon on this team for sure. %, Ricky. It's a lot. .31 receptions. He's going to have a big jump in his routes run and his target share, target rate, snap share, which I think he can get there. The case is just like he's the only healthy 49ers receiver. Oh, Chris Rodriguez goes to Hartman, a.k.a. Sharpman. Why am I not surprised? Boom. I've got like 2 luxury picks to go. 2, 5, 7, 2 build. I don't need another quarterback. I could take another running back if I like one there, but I don't need another running back. Receivers, I probably do get to 8 and then stop. And then so there's one more receiver. I'm looking at tight end. Like I could use one more tight end. Just how it came together. I mean, I'm bullish on McCaffrey, but just how it came together. I think the 49ers have been pretty expensive. Yeah, Steve got a lot of pieces here with Strange, tacked on with T-Law, ETN, and then he had Brian Thomas, of course. We'll see. So my whole thesis on Ricky Pearsall the whole time is his story, his like name and his brand of being shot holds so much weight that like he's being completely overpriced because of the whole narrative of being shot, being so popular. So I've been saying that since like the beginning of last year. I think that counts for a lot. Jatavian Sanders is kind of a fun tight end, 17th to 18th round guy if he's there. Let me look at these receivers. It's kind of like Google Trends. It's like you Google Trend something and you see like when it spikes, like when it peaks. I feel like Ricky Pearsall getting shot is like the peak of his Google Trend. And then there's like that much more momentum behind the whole idea of him being shot and everyone knows it. Week 8's not that covered. I said I was going to take one more receiver. 2, 5, 8, 3. Probably good at running back. I just can't believe that Quorum and Hunter are going undrafted like most drafts. So I might have to grab one of them. Never got to the place where I could get another Dolphins piece. At the same time, I might not need one. Just rely on Hurts and then good players and not worry too much about the whole Dolphins thing. A lot of these receivers I wanted to go though, like Mitchell, Pierce, Coker are all drafted, which I kind of expected. Maybe. Yeah, what up, BP? He's calling his shot. Super Bowl or bust for the Bears? It's going to be a bust. Hate to break it to you early. Okay. Quorum, Hunter. Malik Washington. Kind of a fun throw-in. I don't know why the Rams running backs aren't getting drafted, but I can get the stack there, and it's worth something, though. You could obviously take over if Tyreek Hill is missing time or is not, like, dominant. And then I don't know what's up with Waddle, so maybe Malik Washington can just earn some kind of role. John New gone. Felt like an 8 wide receiver build. Could have been a 2, 6, 7, 3 though. I would have just grabbed Darquez Hunter or Blake Corum there. I don't really love this team. It didn't come together great, but it's definitely strong at at running back. Receiver's fine. A lot of upside with the rookies. Burden, Horton, Hunter, Ayo Manor. The 101 team. Yeah, we're going to review the 101 team. It's wild. No one forgets B-Rob got shot. You can ask Steve. That's just what it's like living around Washington, D.C. You're going to get shot eventually. You're gonna get carjacked eventually. Disingenuous to fade Pearsall on that would be a golden homer. I don't see how that's related at all. Pearsall, if we look at my exposures last season, I think I actually had like 12 or 14%. So the whole shot thing was not great. But the reason I'm fading Pearsall in 2025 is because he's not that good. Let's just look at the advanced stats. Like, I can't find a single advanced stat where he's actually good. True catch, but that doesn't, I mean, that doesn't mean anything. Kind of a fake stat there. It's all low volume stuff. Win rate versus man, 45. Routes versus man, you know, win rate. So, like, with Pearsall, good production premium, I guess. We know the quarterback plays decent with Purdy. The argument's the offense is going to be better with McCaffrey playing more games, and so there's more opportunity for Pearsall. Or is McCaffrey just going to, like, dominate the offense and score all the touchdowns? I mean, as a rookie, 11 games, so you could prorate it. Let's just multiply it by 1.5. He's getting up to 46 receptions, 600 yards, 4 or 5 touchdowns. He's going ahead of Ramadunze, who I'm also, like, not excited about so much, but Ramadunze did way better than that. And then the game logs are really bad. Famously, Ricky Pearsall has more 0-point games than he does spike weeks. So week 17 is all that matters. And that, with him being shot, is the only reason I think he goes where he goes in drafts. And this is my whole argument before the Juwan Jennings injury and about every other 49ers receiver getting injured. So it's kind of a holdover from the early summer thesis. But I don't count week 18. That's kind of a, I mean, he did fine in week 18. So, but I don't really count that in my numbers. 0 in 11, 0 in 12, 0 in 13, a 1.5. That's a 0 to me. 0 in 14, 2.6, another 0, 0 in 15. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight zeros in a row. He hits your flex in week 10. He scores nicely for you in week 17, which is all that matters. So that's just really, really recency bias on Ricky Pearsall being relevant. That's my whole case against him. Advanced metrics are all bad. He didn't play a whole lot last year. When he did, he was more likely to get you a 0 than actually hit your lineup. So that's why I was out on Ricky Pearsall. And then this year, maybe it's just the opportunity, because Juwan Jennings was really opportunity driven, but he wasn't good before. I mean, Juwan Jennings is a fine player at Tennessee, you know, played with Alvin Kamara, but never had like a breakout season in the NFL. Nothing stood out until this last year. But Juwan Jennings, like, pops off the page in a lot of these things. Target rate, red zone targets is decent. Overall targets was decent. Obviously the receptions, receiving yards, yards per route run, number 7, pretty interesting. He's beating man at a higher rate. He's getting targets at a higher rate, but he's injured. He has a calf injury, so that's gonna ding him a little bit in 2025. Let's go look at this Rottweiler. I want to check out that team in the 1 spot too that Hartman was calling out. It's really funny. He did heat up at the end. That's kind of my argument against him, though, I feel like, especially us as best ball drafters, we're so excited about rookie Pearsall because what he did in week 17. Yeah. It's not impossible, BT. I'm just kind of messing with you. But I think the Bears, the thing they have going for them is the improved offensive line, improved coaching. Is Caleb Williams good, though? I don't know. We hear good things out of camp. We hear bad things out of camp. I think most of what I've been hearing out of camp and what I've been reading is that, like, Caleb Williams is not looking like that incredibly good. Exactly. This could be the Bears' 94 Angels season. It's a good point. Ricky and Rome, the combo you need. I would say it's more likely to be Rome than Ricky. Golden's a worse prospect than Pearsall. I don't know how you can say that. I care about stats, but the opportunity matters a lot. True catch rate, was his pretty good? Let's see. I think let's see, because it wasn't true catch rate though. That's catchable targets, right? Oh yeah, because Pearsall was so high. He is going wide receiver 33. I guess it seems like he's going higher because his ADP is around there, so 5th round. So I guess you're getting him as like a top 30 wide receiver, and so you'd figure that would make sense if he's their wide receiver 1. Yeah, no Debo and no Ayuk. I wouldn't, but some people would. Hartman definitely would. But I will take some Marvin Harrison. I think I took him on this team. Yep. Yeah, I think Rome is okay. He's just now competing with a lot of guys for targets. And if he is actually the best guy on the team, then that won't really matter too much. But when you draft a receiver in the 1st round, and the next year you draft a tight end in the 1st round, then Luther Burden in the 2nd round, I don't know who's that worse for. I guess it's worse for DJ Moore, right? Than Odunze. And Keenan Allen no longer there. So there's at least some more opportunity. Yeah, Paulino, that's my argument against Ricky Pearsall, is he has so much name equity. The fact that he was on the Best Ball Mania winning roster. He did all of the production in week 17. Everyone knows he got shot. Everyone knows he wears a Rolex. Like, that to me is all negatives because I like things that matter for football. And, like, none of that actually matters. It mattered in the context of Best Ball Mania last year, but will it matter this year? Like, almost certainly no. And then just people being like, oh yeah, Ricky Pearsall, he got shot. I like him. He wears a Rolex. Let me click him. I like to argue that, like, if you blinded all of the player teams and names and you just said like descriptive things about the player, that the ADPs would be so different. Because there's like Mahomes. There's a ton of name equity with Patrick Mahomes. Although this is the latest we've ever drafted Patrick Mahomes. But who's good? Rome Odunze? Rome Odunze could be good. He was all right last year. Or about Caleb Williams. Like Rome could be good. He was good in college, but he was playing with Michael Penix Jr. So the argument is like, if Rome Odunze is not good with the Bears, is it because Caleb Williams is not good? Because Rome Odunze was good in college with Michael Penix, and we're about to see also, is Michael Penix going to be good in the NFL? And I think the answer is yes. Jennings is Gabe Davis. Pearsall is Diggs. I don't think Pearsall can ever be Diggs, but maybe. I'm not ignoring all that. I recognize all that stuff. Part of that's, to me, going against him, but the whole thing about the offense, and he's the only wide receiver one on the offense, that's like evolved. That's like a current, that's like as of this week. We don't know the status of Juwan Jennings. The Juwan Jennings calf injury has been a thing for a while, but all of the other receivers in the receiving room getting injured. Obviously, we knew Debo's not there anymore. Ayuk has been injured the whole time, so that's not really new. But you could also argue, okay, Brandon Ayuk didn't play Week 17 last year. What happens if Brandon Ayuk's in there? What is Pearsall doing in Week 17 with Ayuk there? Well, CJ Stroud did get Offensive Rookie of the Year. So he's definitely good. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if Caleb, because I mean, Caleb was a 101, so there's like a really high bar. And people are pretty out on Stroud. Stroud goes way after Caleb right now. Stroud's going pick 140. Caleb goes in this one 113. So people are definitely higher on Caleb. That's a fun stat. That's interesting too. And I would argue Olave's probably the better receiver, but it seems like he's been kind of snake bitten with the whole concussions and the injuries thing. And then playing for the Saints, but I guess Derek Carr's not like a terrible QB, so he should have been able to do better. But yeah, it is always funny that Olave gets brought up as like not having a good ceiling. We'll see, Krios. We'll see. I don't know how those two players keep coming up as like comparison, but because you think Golden going at pick 68 is a worse pick than Pearsall at 60? I don't really understand that. Or because I draft Golden, but I'm not drafting Pearsall. I draft all rookie wide receivers. I drafted Rome Odunze, I drafted Ricky Pearsall all last season. They didn't pay off. I mean, Pearsall paid off for somebody, not for me. Rome over DJ? Yeah, that's what I'm hearing too. Rome over DJ seems like a thing. Yeah, Caleb is 23. Waddle is tough. I don't draft a lot of Waddle. I used to really like Waddle. Just last season was pretty bad. Tua back healthy. Can it get better? Yeah, but I don't think I would take Waddle above a bunch of these guys in this range. Feels like the wide receivers in the 5th and 6th round, even like to some extent, pretty much the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, it's going to be hard to know the order they should be going in. So you could pick more Ricky. Yeah. Yeah, that's the stuff that I don't value as much. I'm much more stat and metric based. So like that's good anecdotally, and it's good to know and to hear, which will give me confidence. But I'm definitely looking at stats and metrics for like 99% of my decisions. Unless I just know better. But I usually don't know better. Yeah, I see what you're saying there. We'll see. I thought Caleb was going to be really good because he was so good in college. You know, took over the job from Rattler, did the whole thing at OU and then USC, but he hasn't done much without Lincoln Riley. But you can say the Bears was a really bad situation to be in. I could argue the Texans are a really bad situation to be in for Stroud. Nah, yeah, no, this has been a thing the whole time. I don't see the giant appeal of Ricky Pearsall at pick 60. I think it's fine. I think it's better because Juwan Jennings is hurt. And Ayuk is definitely not ready for week 1. But like back in April, May, when we didn't know any of that stuff. And Pearsall then was going in the 70s, so he's actually cheaper, right? But still thought it was pretty early. And then we had more uncertainty about Christian McCaffrey, so that was even like more of a reason I think to be in on Pearsall. I was like, oh, is McCaffrey ever even going to be healthy? Later, Who-Ames. Peace. Yeah, that's always the threat with Fields is like, is he going to get benched again? What's funny about Fields is Fields' best season in fantasy was not even as good as Bo Nix's rookie season, but Bo Nix is getting kind of like overlooked. Less, I mean, I guess you could, if your argument is like the ADP is the end-all be-all, then he's not really getting overlooked because he does go ahead of Fields. But for a while there, it was like Bo Nix was seen as like a bad pick in the 8th round. And Fields was somehow like a great pick in the 9th round. But the Broncos are just a way better team than the Jets. Could be true. Yeah. What does that say? They paid Fields so much, didn't they? Yeah, I think the Broncos could score a lot of points. Defense is good. Offensive line is good. They got Harvey now, who's a touchdown merchant in college. And we'll see. It's kind of, and then bringing in Ingram is kind of interesting. Could be a good fit. Yeah, so he doesn't get a lot of hype. I guess that's true, but Sutton had the second most air yards in the league, wasn't it? Was Sutton number 2 in air yards? Sutton had 1,800 air yards. I know Calvin Ridley had more. But then Jamar Chase had less. But close, right? So Bo Nix was throwing a lot of manufactured screens and things, but he also threw he had a receiver with the second most air yards. So I guess he's airing it out still and going deep for Sutton. But all of the manufactured stuff would be like to Mims or the running backs. True. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Franklin wasn't tracking him as much, but maybe they're saying good things about Franklin. Maybe he'll start to catch some of those in year 2. Which is crazy too, Hartman. With that, isn't it, like, with that good of an offensive line? Like, how did that even happen? So that's the reason I was so off on Javonte Williams. Like, I won't draft Javonte Williams. I've done it a few times, but like, I really just won't draft him. If Javonte couldn't get it done with the Cowboys or with the Broncos offensive line, like, imagine how can he get it done with the Cowboys? Let's check this team from the 1 spot. That's so interesting. A 3-7-5-3 build, very standard. Pretty much a textbook build right here. Bo Nix, Baker Mayfield, Anthony Richardson. I mean, at first glance, nothing wrong with that. Hampton, Breece Hall, Jordan Mason. Pretty rich for Jordan Mason, but you can call your shot. Bill, 121. Will Shipley, 144. That's definitely a call your shot. Giddens at 168 is just a reach. Brian Robinson, 169. Technically great ADP value, but also interesting. I've never seen a running back room like this. Wide receiver Chase, Egbuka, Mims. So stack, and then stacked up Jalen McMillan as his 5th wide receiver, and he's missing like 9 weeks minimum. Kyle Williams, who's not a starting wide receiver yet, but has the upside that we like. McBride, Warren at 73, Smith. There's like some combination of auto drafting off of ranks and not having positional limits is how you get a team like this. Or it's just get your guys season. Hard to explain. That's a really funny one, Hartman, though. So, hey, you know, I would hate, out of me, Hartman, and Steve, if this team advances over one of us, would be pretty funny. But stranger things have happened. Yeah, good luck with that, Paulino. I haven't been drafting a lot of Brashard Smith. I think across all tournaments I have some. I was drafting him a lot more on the big board. He's a little bit buried on the Chiefs. And then there's the whole thing about like, oh, the Chiefs' new shiny toy running back is always overdrafted and it hasn't paid off that many times. Pacheco is like the only one. So I've got, 3% Brashard Smith. Seems fine. I probably have more Hunt at this point. He's just like, I don't. I actually have less Hunt, but I have some Hunt. I've been taking Hunt more recently, it feels like. I have more Pacheco for sure. Pacheco healthy, I think, is the way to go. And I only have 6% of him, but it feels like I've been taking him a lot lately. So I would just be betting on Pacheco. Yeah, that's interesting. I think it's an interesting play as like a passing game receiver, and then can also handle the ball like he did at SMU a little bit. Obviously converted wide receiver. I think Pacheco can do that too, though. It feels like Pacheco's been hitting a lot of those routes. Could be. It's tough to know with the Chiefs. They always act like they have some new shiny running back that can smash, and then it ends up being like nothing. So it's hard. I feel like I've been burned by the Chiefs running back situation a bunch. It might just be Pacheco. But Brashard Smith is probably the most interesting backup running back for the Chiefs. Hunt is older and, was actually pretty good, like filling in for Pacheco. Hunt had some really good weeks. And then Hunt and Pacheco both sucked down the stretch and in like the Super Bowl. So that doesn't leave a good taste in the mouth kind of thing. So people are like back out on them for a while. But now Pacheco's really rising. Steve got him in this one at 61. And I've been drafting him all over the 6th round. Pretty sure this Rottweiler is going to fill if it hasn't already. %. It was 90% filled when I started the other draft. Probably not going to max it then. I'll probably just do those two. The first one I did was fine. That second one was all right. 4,500, so not 7,000. Maybe I was thinking of the pug. It's gonna fill. If I do one more, it'll still fill. Pug with super flex. How much further did the sprint get filled? Still at 44.5. Marathon's at 46. That's kind of what I was thinking. Oh, Pacheco. Pacheco's been looking good. I think what I've been seeing in training camp is Pacheco's doing it all. Yeah, I'm not really in on Hollywood either. And Smith was good at SMU. He was like, that's pretty interesting. So maybe he can earn the role by some point in the season and like catch some passes. I don't know. I'm gonna check to see if there's any other player news from tonight. From these games. I don't think so. Really just the blue ankle injury, which is hopefully minor. Let's see. I don't see anything. But yeah, Brashard Smith apparently went with the ones looking good, according to BP. Yeah, I mean, he's fine to mix in. There's so many 18th round picks to go to, so I'm not sure what the signal would have been to go like fully in on Brashard Smith to see him rise up the board. It just never happened. I'm not sure what that signal would have been though. I thought I might rip some more Rottweilers, but it's so close to filling, which I didn't expect. I honestly don't even feel like doing one more. I think I'll just stop with two. Two Best Ball Manias tonight, which is a lot of the brain focus, and then a little fun Rottweiler throw in there. Who's entering these Mastiffs? I want to know. The 3 out of 12 is what's throwing me on this. I just can't imagine doing 3 out of 12. 2 out of 6, 2 out of 4, 10. I feel like you'd almost want to have a bigger final. You just make it easier to get there. You could have a 20-person final and make this 6 out of 12. I think that's how that would work. And the big dog's gonna fill too. So that's 2 out of 12, yeah. 1, 6, 1, 6, 1, 10. More money in it though. Maybe BP. I think it's like, that's hard. When you get to the NFL level, they're just going to use the depth they have at receiver. I feel like I've been hearing a lot of hype around Tyquan Thornton. You know, actually getting used on the team. So I feel like he's going to play more at receiver than Brashard Smith would. But Smith could still be good as like a running back for them. I mean, they need like a true backup, and if they seem to trust Hunt, so that's like one more obstacle for him to get through. But it seems like if Brashard Smith can jump over Elijah Mitchell, that was kind of like one of the names to monitor. It seems like he has potentially. And I'm assuming they're using Brashard Smith in a special teams role. I don't know for sure though. Yeah, Thornton looked pretty solid. Maybe he's draftable. I mean, he probably hasn't been drafted that many times, but could be thrown in. I thought I might do another draft, but I'm just going to call it on that one because it's midnight here, Central Time Zone. I don't really feel like that much into drafting other tournaments that are open. I'm not going to max the Rottweiler, so I probably just chill on it with the 2 that I did. And then I did 2 Best Ball Manias tonight, so I'll be doing some more tomorrow. Probably do another stream tomorrow also. But I'm going to call it there. Thanks for chilling here tonight, for drafting with me. Appreciate it as always. Good to see you on the chat. Have a great weekend and hope the rest of your Friday goes well. Good luck in those draft rooms. Catch y'all in another one real soon. Peace out. Later, guys.